Advanced Material of India. He published 32 research papers in international journals and also international research conference. He visited many other countries for international conference like Singapore. He is a member of Board of Studies and expert panel member in PhD in SANDIP University. He also appointed as a expert panel member of by UGC in Pune University. He appointed as a valuer and paper settler at RTM Nagpur University. He conducted many designing courses. He acted as a chief guest or resource person of AEC at Kumbakonam. He delivered the expert lecturer on SCADA applications at national event conducted by the ITM College in Nagpur. He also acted as a technical guide and committee member. He received many awards. He received a national award on Rajiv Gandhi in 2012. He received Vidya Bhushan Award for Young Research Scholar in 2013. He presented Best Research Paper on International Conference in Thailand 2017. And now I hand over this session to our resource person, sir. We are
Okay.
eagerly.
Okay. Good morning to all of
Yes, sir.
you. Thank you, ma'am. Such a nice introduction to me. Okay. Basically, I would like to tell one more about this thing. Presently, I am not in working as a dean or head of department in Nagpur. Since last 6 years, I am working in Nashik, Maharashtra. You people might be familiar about the Shirdi Sai Baba. So there is a nearest spot to Nashik. Okay, so since last 6 years, I'm working over here. So thank you so much, ma'am. So welcome to all of you. Today, it's my great immense pleasure to invite me as a expert, and always inviting me as an expert has to be had always from your college. And first of all, I would like to thanks to your management, Arasu College of Management, then the coordinator of this event, as well as the faculty who directly and indirectly contributed for this event. And at last but not least, I am grateful thanks to dear my friends, Professor Rangarajan, Tiangu Rangarajan, and Professor Chandrasekharan, who always inviting me as a speaker or guest as an expert. Okay. So today, dear student, dear all, such a nice event of FDP Faculty Development Program on Artificial Intelligence and IoT applications in Electrical Engineering, Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, in association with EPIC 2K19, organized by the Arasu Polytechnic College, Tamil Nadu. So this topic is now is a burning topic, is a hot topic nowadays in the engineering market, engineering society. So with this, dear student, I think this is the session number today's third day session, and since last 2 days, from last 2 days, many experts have been already discussed about the IoT and the basics about the the artificial intelligence, etc. So same thing, dear student, dear all. Today my topic is based on the overview of artificial intelligence and IoT, base application, base technology in electrical power system and electrical vehicles. Okay. So, dear all, this topic is very vast. So that's why I just quoted this is an overview. Okay. So just a bit, I'm just going to share the slides. So it's visible now.
Yes, sir.
Visible, sir.
Okay then. Okay then. Fine. So an overview of this artificial intelligence and IoT enabled techniques in electrical power system and electrical vehicles. So before going to discuss in detail about those technologies, particularly, I would like to just brief about the scope of artificial intelligence and the IoT enabled techniques. I rightly said that this is the burning topic nowadays, and most of the in as per as concerned of the syllabi, most of the colleges they are using the practices in the particular theory as well as the practical subjects in UG as well as the PG level subjects. But area of application is vast. So I would like to just take the few consult applications with electrical power system and electrical vehicles. Okay, so let us start. See, artificial intelligence basically that the deals with the helping the machines. Of course, it's a branch of computer science, and basically you can say that the derived the branches of the the engineering and sciences, but particularly this is the branch of the computer science, the subjects which deals with the particularly helping the machines, which is find out the the solution to the complex problem in a more human like the fashion. This artificial intelligence means what that this is the nature of the bio nature, bio nature of human being. In short, means the concept basically which is derived from our brain thinking process, and you people knowing very well our brain is having the very complex structure. No, so many neurons is available in our mind, in our brain. Some neurons are visible, some neurons are non-visible, some neurons are virtual, you can say the hidden. So whenever the human being just behave like a machine, behave like a machine, you can say that. That time the behavior is just like a virtual. Thinking process is just like a virtual. And virtuality comes into the action, right? So that is why the definition is stated that more human like the fashion. Okay. And this is, the generally involves the basically borrowing the characteristics from the human intelligence and applying them as an algorithm in a computer friendly way. It means that, yes, student, if you think today, if you think, suppose you people, I think you might be all are in online today's because the COVID pandemic, nobody is able to attend the personal platform. So that is why, just a moment. Hello. Huh? Okay, it's audible now? It's audible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Great. Okay, so dear all, basically the human nature, our mind, our brain is in complex thinking process. Means every second by second, minute by minute, your brain is inactive 24 by 7. Even though when you go on the sleep mode, that time your brain is inactive. So that's why what I mean to say that your brain is supposed to capable to do anything else what you want. And you know very well the God create the man and man create the algorithms. Vice versa. Not vice versa. Man only has the ability to create the algorithms, and a damn algorithm is supposed to be used for any kind of the applications. But dear all, it's a characteristic like a human intelligence. But your thinking process are supposed to be in linear direction. That time, you people is ability to find out the solution of non-linear objectives programs, objectives algorithms, or objectives methods, or object, you can say that. Means what that? In short, suppose any complex non-linear solution problems comes in front of you, that time your mind should be a linear process. Your thinking should be a linear process. There should be no any ambiguity about the non-linearities. Just it. Once a non-linearity, ambiguity, or supposed to be non-linearities happen, that time your code, your program, your algorithm is not supposed to achieve a sufficient result. So that is why, dear student, they are having some kind of the drawback also. So that's it. So I just come to the next slide, that is called as why it is artificial intelligence, right? And dear all, this is the nature as well. The artificial intelligence, basically, it is a the scientific discipline, aiming to research, develop, and simulate of the human behavior and its rule, particularly. Even though artificial intelligence technique, I rightly said that, including brain science, neurology, information technology, and various disciplines of artificial intelligence technique. This is not a limited scope. It is a wide scope, wide opportunity nowadays in the market. Earlier it was, but not so far sound technology was developed. But nowadays, the almost to the full of the battery, this technology has to be stand. Okay. So dear all, the artificial intelligence technique, including the brain science, neurology, I rightly said that disciplines such as the information technology, and everywhere you find the artificial information technology, as well as with the inbuilt with the artificial intelligence technique. Even though walk through of your life or behavior every second of the behavior of human brain. Okay, so that is there. And previously, dear all, the traditional artificial intelligence includes a problem. Traditionally, I'm telling about the traditionally. Include the problem solving in the process, some kind of the logical reasoning, some kind of the non-logical reasoning, etc. So artificial intelligence, it is nothing but the natural language understanding. It is called as an expert system. Okay, it's a natural language understanding. Any person who is able to understand this language, because I rightly said that this language is developed by the man, human brain, and every human brain are supposed to be compatible with this particular platform. So that's why I rightly quoted that it's a natural language. It's a natural understanding language. So sometimes it is called as smart language. Sometimes it is called as the expert language or expert system. Whenever you apply the some kind of artificial intelligence based any technique in your application, that time you can say that the expert system, your expert system. Okay, so that is a great achievements of artificial intelligence in nowadays. So dear all, this is the some kind of the modern artificial intelligence techniques like this. So why AI? My question is that why AI? Why artificial intelligence? So dear all, intelligent machine work and react more like a human. It can change their own behavior. Artificial intelligence basically the ability of this particular system change their behavior. You can change the current position to the future academia without the expliciting the reprogramming and all. So that is the beauty. That is the beauty. So dear all, in short of technical sense, artificial, you will find the artificial techniques, artificial technology in everywhere from day-to-day life to industry to in future. So many techniques, artificial intelligence, machine learning, then deep source learning, etc., etc. But there is some sort of the limitation of your human brain that is called as the database. There is some sort of restrictions. Because human brain is sustained only some sort of the memories. Okay, very few people, they are damn thing to remember their memories for a long time. Very few people. But the certainty is that there is some sort of the limited database in our memory. And it can be pertaining to particular data, particular events in your memory, not for a long time, because our behavior is changes from day to day, second to second, minute to minute. So database is to be certain, is to be ideal one, is to be practical one. So that is why, dear student, in the big data now concept is the now engineering process that is called as the big data, and what you can say that the cloud computing and all. Means what that whatever the algorithm you just deployed for the current scenario, predicted scenario, analysis in future, analysis in present, restructuring or modification present and future, it depends upon the database. So dear all, the artificial intelligence is very much compatible with your big data analysis. So without knowing the database analysis, without knowing the database server and database technology, you people cannot understand or cannot fulfill of artificial techniques in whole system. Okay, no doubt at all. Your part is to only develop the algorithms in AI. Whichever in your application era. But here on, once you understand your database, because database, the knowledge of the database, how the behavior of database, where the data server is gone, where the data is coming from, what is my clustering, what is my multi-threadings, what is my backup in futures, runtime futures, etc. So that is the big challenges nowadays. That is called as the big data analysis. And of course, it is support with the decision-making process. So dear all, big data provides a clear overview to provide each and every thing, what you want, what you like. Okay, so that is there. Now let's come to the main slide. limitations of human mind. I rightly said that there is a limitation. Some sort of limitation is always there. Object recognition, there is a limitation of human mind. The people cannot properly explain how they recognize the objects. There is a limited. Face recognition cannot be passed one to another person by the explanation. Naming of the colors based on the learning, not to absolute standard. Okay, so there is some sort of the behavior, human behavior, because human behavior is varying from person to person, and of course, I rightly said that it changes from second to second, minute to minute, day to day, year to year. So there is a limitations. Now let's come to the main point. The application of artificial intelligence, as showing in your screen, various application you have find it. There is the power plants, the hospital, the medicine, heavy industry, transportation, toys, games, etc., and many more. Huge wide of scope everywhere. So that's why it is called as the branches of the engineering and sciences. So with this, here all, I'm just going to explain this particular. I would like to just brief about the slide number 5. That is the explanation of artificial intelligence. Why the scope is that. This is not limited applications. It is stretching from military application. Particularly, dear all, you might be all engineering background peoples, and you might be knowing about the why those technology are particularly developed in view of the military applications. Whether it is the satellite communication, it was first tested for the military applications. Then whatever your radar control systems, which was earlier developed for the control military applications. So there is a huge and wide scope. So that's why I'm telling you, it stretches from the military for the autonomous control and particular target identification. Not limited, even though entertainment industry, computer games, robotics, etc. So there is a huge scope. And nowadays, very well, the huge amount of information technology nowadays is in the market, right? Hospital, banks, insurance. So there is a huge scope, not even for technical as well as the commercial also, who can use the artificial intelligence to predict the customer behavior and detect the trends and market and like this. Today's are the share market, I'm telling about this thing. So to check the behavior of the current status of the market and prediction in future in the market. Okay. So that is called as the business market nowadays. So there is a huge scope for this artificial intelligence, big data, and cloud computing, or much more. Now let's come to the main point, dear all. Why these particularly applications? Why need for the artificial intelligence in power system? I'm just going to discuss about the power system. Okay, because today's our topic, I rightly quoted here, the application in power system and electrical vehicles. So I must be talking about the concern with the electrical power system and the electrical vehicles. So basically, why need of artificial intelligence in power system? Why it is so? Before going to discuss in detail about the artificial techniques or technology, you people let it understand the necessity of AI techniques or machine learning techniques in electrical engineering applications. So basically, dear all, the power system, it is a ideal example. You people, whenever you people called as a power system is called as a complex network. You electrical engineering people, first term you use as a complex network. Whenever the complex network is there, that time huge amount of data is to be manipulated every time. Huge amount of data. data about current, voltage, frequency, then the power, whatever, etc., etc. And huge amount of data calculations over the transmission line. Even though once you might be studied in your electrical power system, once you calculate the transmission line parameters to identify the transmission line parameters, ABCD parameters, or Z parameters or Y parameters, what, etc. That time you neglect the shunt reactance, you neglect the stray capacitor effect, you neglect the the admittance of the neutral point. Every concerned parameter you neglected. But here all, while you consider the complex network system, that time no need to neglect the parameters. By considering all parameters to deploy your algorithm and to run your system, that is the beauty of this artificial intelligence in our system. Okay. So dear all, this is the complex, versatile and large amount of information which can be used in calculation, diagnosis and learning. That is our main objectives. So that is why it is needed. Okay. As well as dear all, as far as concerned of this, computational process. Once you computational anything else over the power system, that time period, accuracy does matter always, and data handling. Once again, I'm repeating you. While you calculating any electrical oriented applications, particularly power system, that time you can use any techniques. AI techniques are so many techniques, artificial intelligence are so many techniques. It is some kind of what you can say that the soft computing. Anything you can use, expert system, and you can use the optimization techniques, etc., etc. The genetic algorithm, PSO, then what we can say that BNEs, whatever the behavioral techniques, whether it is human or bioinformatics. That doesn't matter, is called as a computational time. Once you design the algorithm, that time, the computational time, it doesn't matter always. And of course, once you run your algorithm in your particular engine, that is called as algorithm engine, you can call it a search engine, that time accuracy does matter. In what sense? To find the particular ones, this is suppose this is an optimization technique you can consider, and once you apply the optimization technique, you always remember local find optima and global find optima. It should be matched properly with having some computational time. And of course, it requires a data handling. So huge amount of data handling is to be required for this process. So that is why the artificial intelligence is very beauty with the big data analysis. So that is why, because I just gone through these various white papers, various researchers, they have been already presented the best combination of artificial intelligence with the big data. Because nowadays, whatever the business model in electronics commerce or business commerce, the industrialist or the business person or the researchers and the practicing engineers, they have developed their business model in AI with the big data analysis. Okay, so that is the beauty or the best combination. Now, dear all, particularly as far as concerned of the power system, as far as concerned of slide number 6, why it is need so? Because in power system operation and control, the prime objectives, power system operation and control, it is our basic goal for these AI techniques. Why it is so? Because to provide the users with quality electricity power in economic rational degree for power system. To avoid the congestion, to avoid the loadability effects, etc., etc. Because your supply and demand should be matched properly. That time your system is stable, your power system is stable. You people might be knowing the fact. So that is why with the help of these AI techniques, it is quite possible to ensure that the stability and reliability is to be maintained. That's it. Okay. So that is there. Now next slide is dear all. And the artificial intelligence technique, it is having the various one, that is which one? It is mainly expert system, artificial neural network, that is called as ANN, and fuzzy logic system, etc., etc. So these are the three basic artificial intelligence technique comes under the category. Which one? Expert system, artificial neural network, that is called as ANN, and fuzzy logic system. Okay, so we shall discuss in detail about those technology. Now next slide is come to the expert system. I'm just going to discuss about the three systems. Which one? Artificial intelligence techniques, expert, ANN, and fuzzy. So I'm going to explain in detail about those technology in short. So dear all, expert system, it is behavior like the inputs is called as presentation layer. It is having called as a three-tier structure. Expert system is in your screen. This diagram, it shows three-tier structure. But actually in practical, dear all, three-tier structure is not sufficient so far for business model. Because business model is having the complex, is to be required the complex structure. So that time, dear all, there is the multi-tier system. Multi-tier system is have to be adopted as an expert system. But let you consider the basic concept about the expert systems. So this block is represented the knowledge-based facts and rules. That is called the presentation. Presentation means what? That the fact of the current objectives, current the current rules, current status, you can say that. That is called the presentation layer. And here all, this indicates the another end. This is called last end. Explanation. And you can call as a backup. You can call as a backup structure. And very important thing is called as middle layer. This is called as a middle layer. This is called as presentation layer. This is called as the database server layer, and sometimes this is called as a middle layer. And here all, you know very well, this middle layer playing a very important role. Who can manage the presentation layer as well as the database layer? So he's playing a very important role. So that is called as the expert system, and that is called as the artificial intelligence, who is ability to manage the each and everything what you want, what you require in this particular system. So dear all, in this is called as the knowledge acquisitions, then interfacing engine, and of course for this interfacing engine is required some kind of the input and output interference and particular user or plant. Okay, this is basic operation plant to whom to provide the input variables as well as the output variables for this particular your search engine or interface engine, you can say that. And the interface engine it is nothing but your any kind of algorithms, any kind of the algorithms, your genetic search engine, your ion colony optimization search engine, your what you can say that the PSO search engine or hybrid intelligence based search engines, etc., etc. Up to you. So this is input and output interface is to be required, some kind of, this is the external part. I don't want to discuss in detail about this thing because you have been already familiar since last 2 days about the IoT techniques. The prime is required some, sensors, actuators. With the help of sensors and actuators, it is not possible to sense the particular real-time object to object type of data variables. Okay, so that is there, and this interfacing, it might be the internet, intranet, WAN, LAN, etc., web, etc. Okay, so this is the basic structure. Now, as far as concerned of this is expert system, dear all, which is obtained the knowledge of a human expert in narrow specific domain. Because up to you, I rightly said that the algorithm, the designing of the algorithm is up to you. How to design and deploy your algorithm in particular systems in a narrow specific domain into a machine implementable form. So that is why here all your search engine is ability to understand what you want. Just like your Google is called as search engine. And dear all, I'm very happy to say that your Google search engine nowadays is based on the artificial intelligence platform. Any damn thing you can search with having the specific advanced searching features and facilities there. But what you want to search the particular, what you want, what you search, what you require, what you want. Otherwise, you just search anything else, your Google will come in the come out on the screen, and any damn thing will become on the screen. So you people will get confused. So there is some sort of techniques, some sort of the particular methods to search the particular keywords. So that's what, dear all, what I'm telling you, expert system, which is represented a specific domain into the machine implementable form, that is there. Of course, it is a computer programs which have the proficiency and competence in a particular field. It means that your algorithm designations. The designation of algorithm which is required having the less computational time, less that the what you can say that the error occurrences, data redundancies. Your abstract body should not be hidden one for the particular specific program. So all this thing is to be required. That is very, very important. So coding of the particular algorithm by considering the all parameters, that is there. That is a skill. That is a skill. And up to you. So that's why I'm telling you, this is human brain, human nature. Okay. They are also called as knowledge-based system or rule-based system. You remember that. This is knowledge-based system. Sometimes the expert system is called as knowledge-based or rule-based system. Rules, why it is called the rules-based system? Because there is some kind of the constraints, certainty is there. If you cannot create the constraints, so your algorithms are supposed to be create the problem. So for the certainty, you have to define the fixed rules for that. Once you design the algorithms, you set the rules. And setting of the rules for the definition of the algorithms in case of the fuzzy logic. That is called as a fuzzification, and defuzzification is to be required because some sort of rules, some sort of patterns, rules patterns you have to design. And so many methods have been adopted. I will just come forward that. So dear all, the expert system is nothing but the interface interface mechanism and knowledge to solve the problem, which cannot be difficult to be solved by the human being. So artificial intelligence is ability to solve any damn problems. Okay, so that is there. Now let's come to the main point. How expert system can be used in power systems? Because I'm just going to correlate it every times with the power system, right? So dear all, expert system are basically computer program. I rightly said that program is what that the process of writing codes, and codes writing maybe any platform you can use. There is no burden, there is no constraint. Once you are supposed to very much expertise in C programming, you go with C programming. C++ is advanced, you go with the C++. You go with the Java programming. You go with the embedded Java programming. You go with the virtual IBM Java programming. You go with the MATLAB. You go with the Python. So many platforms are available for the particular to run the algorithms, and nowadays the special packages also available for this artificial intelligence techniques. Okay, nowadays the lot many packages systems, lot many softwares available to run the particular course. So what I mean to say that this program, whatever you design or write the program, this program is simpler than the actual calculating. Remember those my word. Simpler than actual calculating. Okay. Not because this is your expertise. Up to you. Depends upon you people, your expertise, your skill, how to write the code. Code should not be break. The code should not be, the creating some kind of the bugs in future. That is called as a smart coding. Okay. So that is what here all in nowadays our students are facing a lot of problems in industry nowadays, in software industry, because their ability is not to write the smart codes. Those ability having to writing the smart codes, they are surviving in the industry having the good packages. That's it. There is a simple business. So what I mean to say that actually the calculating and the estimating the value of parameters used in particular generation system, particularly used in transmission system and distribution system, because the power system is having the very complex. Suppose if you want to one of the example in power system, you can see that the fault analysis to identify the transmission line fault analysis. So that time you need to have to consider the all parameters of resistance, inductance, capacitance, all these things. You have to maintain the constraint also, linear constraint as well as a non-linear constraint, active constraint as well as a passive constraints. Even though you have to calculate, you have to consider the the natural transmission line loading impedance as well as the surge insulation impedance level factors for this fault analysis calculation. So once you write the code for this particular finding of the fault in transmission line, that time your actual calculating estimation and the value of parameter particular use should be a particular match it. Another thing, dear all, any modification even after design of your code, it can be easily done and can be easily run on the program. That is called as a compatibility platform. Means if you write the lengthy code, lengthy algorithms, if you design the lengthy algorithms and you want to need to have to deploy in particular platform, whether C, C++ or Java programming, sometimes Your C platform or Python platform are supposed to understand easily. You compile your codes in short time of the computation time. But same program is supposed to run on the Java programming or any other platform programming. There might be some sort of the time, the time computation time is taking too much high as compared to earlier one. So selection of platform is again very, very important as far as the research point of view concerned. So there are another is called as a virtual estimations. Virtual means for that the present as well as the future predictions. Because ANN systems, artificial intelligence is not only to have the present status, their ability to have the future status also. What will be the happen in future? Their ability of artificial intelligence, any damn thing. Okay, so that is there. Next slide. Next is your neural network architecture. So you might be gone through the neural network structure in the previous the previous experts. They have been already explained, but I'm just going to explain once again. So neural network, it is commonly fashioned this structure. Everywhere you'll find the basic structure figure. It is having the okay. So neural network architecture basically you can call as your human brain. You can just compare with the human brain. Earlier I just rightly explained your brain is a complex structure nature. It is having a lot of neurons available, present, hidden, virtual, actual. Okay. So those identification people could not identify it properly. Because your human brain is not in steady mind. You can see a linear position. It is second to second, day to day. Your nature of human brain is in always in abstract one. Sometimes it is linear, sometimes it is non-linear. Once you depress, your brain is go on non-linear region. Once you active, your brain is in linear region. So this is virtuality comes into the complexity of your brain. It is always happening with every people. Only yogis, some kind of the yoga peoples, meditation peoples, they have to control their brain and soul, in particularly to come into the one steady state. And once your brain and your particular your inner soul are supposed to come into the steady soil, so any damn thing you can represent it, you can achieve. Okay, but everybody is not supposed to be yogi. Okay, so that is why. So dear all, this is the neural network architecture. It is having the 3-layer structure. There is a multi-layer structure also. It is to be available for the particular platform of multi-artificial intelligence, or you can say that the advanced artificial intelligence techniques. So this is called as the input layer, and this is called as a hidden layer, and this is called as the output layer. Okay, so let me explain in short about this ANN. So dear all, basically you understand the artificial neural network is defined as a data processing system, which is consisting of the various data processing system by considering of a large number of simple but highly connected processing elements. And of course, it is inspired by the structure of brain. For example, if you close your eyes, just do the meditation, you close your eyes and just cool calm. Let it go, every thoughts come in your mind, let it go. Every time the respected Shri Pandit Ravi Shankar always telling, let it go. But let it comes, your positive thoughts, negative thoughts, let it come. But you just relax. Let it go. But just come, but let it go. It means that here all, whatever the positive or negative thoughts, that is called as a data variables. Let it come, let it come. But which positive thoughts, which negative thoughts is bypass or suppress, or you can say that the modified, restructure, and convert it into positive thoughts. So that is called as a human brain behavior. That is called as the artificial neural network is derived from the human brain psychology or process. Now, dear all, this is the artificial neural networks or system designed based on the organic thoughts process, which converts a set of input into set of outputs by network of the neurons. I rightly said positive thoughts and negative thoughts, right? Positive thoughts still come, but do not come into the action. Suppose if you close your eyes and think over the matter, I want to attend the lecture without opening my eyes. So it is not possible, no? It is not possible, but it is again quite possible. What I am telling you, you can sense it properly. But actual supposed to be representation in terms of picture, so you cannot see. Okay, so that is called as a hidden layers. Okay, so dear all, the each neuron produce one output as shown in figure. Each neuron produces one output as a function of input. Output is a function of input. For example, fault finding calculation in your transmission line, you need to have the multiple inputs of particular node systems, having the 10 nodes. So you have to collect the currents, trap the currents from the 10 nodes. That is called as the rated current, as well as the fault current, surge current, etc., leakage current, etc. So that is called the trapping of the neurons. So that is what here all the output of one state that is related to the input of states. And this system used in real world application. That is called as a pattern recognition. It's called as a pattern recognition. So here, this is the different thing. So I don't want to discuss too much in the particular things. So number of players and topology, there is called as a connectivity patterns, and straightforward or recurrent methods you can use. Input layer shows the nodes are input units which do not process the data and the information, only provide the information, but distribute this data and information to the other units. And middle layer is called as the hidden layers. Particularly, the nodes are hidden units that are not directly evident and visible, but dear all, they provide the network the ability to map or to classify the non-linear problems. Means I just rightly example with your thoughts, negative thoughts. Negative means non-linear behavior. So with the help of this, the hidden layers, the ability of artificial intelligence with the help of this hidden layer to ability to convert into the proper, the linear, non-linear parameters by considering into the linear parameters in a particular way for the output networks. And there all the output layer is indicates the represents the nodes. There are output units which encode the possible values to be allocated to the case under the consideration. Okay, so that is there. So I'm going to fast. Now, dear all, in case of this slide number, next slide. It's scrolling now. Side scrolling now. It's visible now. It's visible. Here all.
No. It's in same slide only,
Okay.
sir.
This is same slide now. Not scrolling on. You tell me now.
No, sir. No, sir.
Now.
Yeah, yes. Sir.
Now.
Now change it, sir.
It's okay. Fine.
Okay.
Okay. So now, as far as concerned of your this slide, how expert system using power system, same as to how ANN can be used in power system. So many applications we shall discuss in detail about afterward. But in short, the real-time problem of generation, transmission, and distribution of electricity can be involved with the particular artificial neural network system, so that a suitable solution can be obtained. So in generation, there is so many fact and factual we can implement it. In transmission system, the objective will be different. In distribution system, the objective will be different. Okay, so we can use it everywhere, and I will just go through some sort of the objectives where it is used in, how and where it used in generation, transmission, and distribution system. But here all, it is having some kind of the constraint of practical transmission, because this is your whatever the search engine you people need to have deployed or designed in a particular platform is a hypothetical one. It's a hypothetical. Okay, but once you design your fuzzy system or NN system and try to implement in your real-time power system implementation, so it is not feasible. Still, the research is going on. Some only small model is achieved, such as called as a relay production scheme or the relay system. So there is some sort of the fuzzy system have to be adopted and how to be designed in our region. But it is damn possible and damn compatible with the non-renewable energy sources like solar and wind. There is a wide and huge scope, particularly. Okay, because present your conventional generation, conventional transmission, it is not feasible. Conventional grid is not feasible. Only the hypothetical representation you can be just put it. Okay, so that is there, because our present system cannot be changed for the some kind of the hypothetical results, right? For example, here all you calculate for the transmission line. Example is to calculate the inductance, capacitance, resistance in a transmission line. Then you can do the particular programs by the ANN, artificial neural network. But here all, the resistance, inductance, while you calculate the resistance, inductance, and capacitance over the transmission line, that time, presently, what you have considered? The present voltage, input voltage, and sending end voltage and receiving end voltage for that. But this is not sufficient for the artificial neural network. Artificial neural network is ability to consider the environmental factor also. Environmental factors means what that? Humidity. You have to consider the humidity. You have to consider the rainy season. You have to consider the the sunstroke, sun radiations, wind pressure, snow fogging. So these are the considerations called as pollution, industrial pollution, CO2 emissions. So these are called as the environmental factors by considering while calculating your resistance, inductance, and capacitance with the help of this AL, and then it is quite possible. Simple parameter is not possible. Simple algorithm, simple method is not sufficient to find out the results. Okay, but while you designing the algorithm and NN is ability to consider the environmental factors as well as unbalancing conditions and other possible problems. Other possible problem is any corona effect, skin effect, then Faraday effect, proximity effects, etc., etc. Okay, So with the help of this one, this is ANN is damn useful nowadays while calculating such parameters. Next slide is another one. I'm just going to take 12 up to 12:30, right? So you might be there. Okay, another one is called as the fuzzy logic. So I'm just going to explain about the basic structure of the fuzzy logic, and then I'm just going to explain about the how fuzzy logic used in your power system. Now, dear all, this slide represents a simple structure. Understand the physical system and control requirements. That is called as the the present states. After that, up to from this block to this block is called as the middle layer, and this block is called as the output layer. Input layer, another 3 blocks is called as the middle layer, or you can say that the processing layer, and last block is called as the output layer. So this is the process chart of fuzzy logic, how the fuzzy logic does work. Suppose if you develop a linear model of plant sensor and actuators, means for that, suppose if you design any control, some sort of a control system, feedback control scheme, let them forget whether it is PI, PID, or POD, whatever it may be, or hybrid control system, or intelligence-based control system, whatever it may be. First, you need to have to require the input data variables, some sort of the sensors, mechanical sensors, digital sensor, electrical sensor, or the hybrid sensors. So with the help of the sensor, you have to actuate the data from the remote locations and determine a simplified controller from the control theory. Means what that control theory means what that whether this is the linear control theory or non-linear control theory, you define it particularly. And after that, once you define, you develop the algorithms for that particular controller. Suppose if you have to design the POD controller, PID controller. Once you define the particular simplified the controller from the control theory, that time you have to develop their own algorithms. And of course, algorithm this is called as any DAM algorithm, you can define it. I rightly said that whether you go with the genetic, whether go with the express system, whether go with the natural level language, or anything else. And once you design the particular algorithm, then to simulate the particular program, to debug, and once it is successful, then implement. Otherwise, the processes go on. Okay, so that is the level of the fuzzy. So I would like to just explain in short about the fuzzy. How does fuzzy work? So dear all, basically the fuzzy logic are basically the system, basically the logical system, or the standardization particularly, and formalization, standardizations and the formalizations of approximate the reasonings. It is just like similar to your human decision making system, to ability to extract and accurate the solution from certain, or even you can say that the approximate information and data, because data may be some sort of certain data, some data, and of course whatever the data you just coming from the sensor or actuators, it's a real-time data. This is not virtual data. And the sensation of particular data, real-time data, actual data, to extract those data. Not necessarily every data is coming from the sensor and you have to deploy it in your control scheme. Not necessary. You can extract the data, you can compare the data. Which data is required, which data is compatible or not for the required approximate solution. And of course, dear all, the fuzzy logic is a new like the human brain. The technology like a machine. They can perform somewhat like a human. And of course, there is some sort of the set of the rules you need to have to design. If you don't have designed the rules, you cannot implement your fuzzification, and defuzzification cannot be done on the particular fuzzy patterns. So there is some sort of the patterns, and pattern may be different types. Some sort of image type of patterns, some types of any kind of frequency patterns. Then what you can say that the wavelet patterns, digital signature patterns, Fourier signal patterns, Z transform patterns. So these are the different kind of the wavelet patterns. So these patterns you need to recognize. That is called as a pattern recognize. And for making such type of pattern recognize, you have to define some set of the rules. And of course, it is some kind of method have to be selected. That is called as a fast forward or reverse forward recurring methods you can use. And this is already available. And in MATLAB, there is very nice representation there. Very nice explanation is given in MATLAB. So you people might be go through the MATLAB for these NN tools and NN literature. Now, my question is that how the fuzzy logic is used, the different kinds of applications. So here there is numerous applications of fuzzy logic, such as I would like to tell you about the few applications: stability and analysis and enhancement of power system control, fault diagnosis, security assessment, load forecasting, reactive power planning and its control, state estimations. So these are the few important applications for the fuzzy logic. So you people, if you want to do the research in the few study with the fuzzy logic, so you people go with this. Okay, so that is there. Next slide. Next slide is okay. So there is one of the practical application of artificial intelligence in transmission line. There is a simple sort of the application. Dear all, you just go through this. Simple sort of application means that your transmission line, it is having some sort of the sending it as well as the receiving it. And I rightly said that you supposed to calculate the fault analysis by considering the all parameters: impedance, admittance, then stray effect, impedance, stray capacitor, admittance, etc., etc. So for that, the sensor is to be required for designing such kind of the expert system. And expert system is ability to diagnosis, to monitor your data, and to give the proper presentation of the output. That is very, very important. So with this diagram, I would like to just explain about how does the system is work. Suppose any fault is occur in transmission line. Any kind of fault. Oh, okay. Line to line, double line to line, line to ground, etc. But once again, I'm just telling you, you people might be knowing, while you study the fault analysis of a transmission line, that time different rules and different patterns need to have design. Not necessary single line to ground or double line to ground fault is having the same pattern, same rules, not necessary. The rules must be different for the different patterns, different faults. That is there. Okay, so that should be a basic concept. You should be remember that. Suppose dear all, if any fault is occur in the transmission line, the fault detects by detector the fault and is fed to the fuzzy system. Then fuzzy system will take or make the decision accordingly. Suppose if you consider the 3 line currents R, Y, B are sufficient to implement this technique, and angular difference between the fault and pre-fault phasors, of course, input as a fuzzy system. What? Line currents and your phase angles, as well as pre-fault current. You need to have defined, acting as a inputs for the diagnosis. Then, dear all, how does your artificial neural network and expert system can be used to improve the performance of the line? And I rightly said that before, previously slide I just explained, by considering the environmental sensors, sense the environmental and atmosphere condition for the predict your future sense, and your coding, your expert system, your algorithm is ability to design to judge a particular sense, to judge the particular proper results, and for the deployment as a output. So that is in short, there is some sort of explanation. Now, dear all, you just go through this, the current application of artificial intelligence system in power system, numerous application. In your slide, you just go through this. Operation of power system like a unit commitment, unit commitment for the scheduling of generators, scheduling of the load. There is a required hydrothermal coordinations, economic dispatch, congestion management, maintenance schedule, state estimation, load and load power factor. Similarly, the AI technique is used for the planning of power system, MES system planner, to design to design to monitor the present scenario of power system and the future sense of the power system, that is called as the prediction. So that is in the sense of the reliability transmission, expansion planning, reactive power planning, etc., etc. Similarly, AI system is used for the control of the power system like voltage stability, etc. Facts is one of the very important to find out the optimum locations of your reactive power, your fax device. Then stability for the fax by using fax device. So I'm just talking about in short about the fax device. Suppose if you want to design the facts or implement the facts in the transmission line, and the technique is called as artificial neural network base. And simple is called as to find out the facts controller variables, optimization of facts control variables. Because facts may be a series, shunt, or unified, whatever it may be. And of course, this is the control variables, optimization, tuning the parameters of the facts. For example, tuning the parameters means which parameter need to have tunes, real power, reactive power, shunt current, series voltage, shunt voltage, whatever it may be. Those parameters should be tuned properly in line with the facts controller. So dear all, this is artificial neural network is quite helps to find out the tuning of the facts parameter, placement of the facts parameter, cost derivation of the facts parameter. So these are the various the applications. And another is called as the electricity market. And nowadays the deregulation market, electric power system restructuring, or you can say that the deregulation, open-end market, you can say that anybody buy the energy, anybody can sell the energy through the system operator. Some sort of you can say that the electricity bidding market. So in this case, the predictions, and of course this is called as the business model. I just come to the business model. This is not technical one. This is business technical one. So once you design the business technical model, dear all, your ANN helps to ANN with the big data, which is quite possible, which is quite helps to develop the current business market and future business market. Huge kind of ability is available with the help of ANN with big data. Okay. So in this thing, so there is a sort of problems. Now, dear all, another one is called as the deep learning for the power system application. This is nothing but the machine learning system, or we can say that the advanced artificial intelligence based technique. Okay, so deep learning is what that. Simple example in your the once you read your any book, suppose power system book, Nagrath Kotari or DP Kotari or any Stevenson and all this thing. Suppose if you go through the some sort of the fault analysis chapter, and if you need to have the particular not sufficient literature to understand the particular chapter, so what do? You need to have to refer the another books. If your interest comes, again you are able to another books. So that is called as another books, refer another books, other you just go through, deeply involved in that particular process. Means what that your single thoughts comes to the another thoughts come to the again deep thoughts. This deep thought again comes to this thought, and the complex network is to be achieved. And at last, what you achieve? The result comes perfect. Experts. Whatever those things you are just taking the inputs from the different variables, you have to analysis, filter it out, modify it out, connect it out, restructuring out, and to comes into the perfect results. So that is the behavior and derive of the deep learning in power system applications. So I would like to just in short about the deep learning. Sometimes, dear all, deep learning is sometimes is called as I'm just talking about the reinforcement learning, deep reinforcement. Why it is called as the reinforcement? Because one thoughts are not supposed to judge that I am just more tracing on that particular thoughts. So that is called as the reinforce. Present thoughts just manipulated the present thought, analysis the present thought. That is called as the reinforcement. So this is the deep reinforcement learning, which is combines the perception functions, and of course perceptions is the very important. That is called as the opinion. This may be, this may not be, yes, no, okay, maybe yes, maybe no. So these are called as the logical aptitudes, logical patterns. Your brain is behaving like this. So this is the deep learning process, which is derived comes from those functionality, with the decision making, the ability of reinforcement learning, etc. Okay, so we have to define, and this is one of the example of deep learning process in your Google Map nowadays. Google Map means what that your Google is trying to find out the shortest path to reach at your proper destination. So in between from your source to destination, there are so many nodes. Some might be a linear nodes, some might be a non-linear nodes. So to think over the linear by considering the linear as well as the non-linear nodes, to create such algorithms, smart algorithms, to reach your destination without having any struggle, without having any trouble, having in the particular stipulated time, etc. Okay, so by considering the all constant. So that is the process is called as a deep learning. Now, dear all, let's come to the main slide. Okay. Now how ANN application for wind and solar integration. This is very, very important, and nowadays this is the boom of the topic. Now today's research, present research since 2000, the 13 onwards, 2013 till 2000, the 17 to 18, some sort of the review-based literature is available in this particular, the particular topic, wind and solar integration. But 18 onwards, most of the research paper, the sound technological algorithms, sound design algorithms, sound technology, sound platform is available. So I can say that this is a stable technology nowadays. It's called as wind and solar integration, but not limited so far. It is wide scope in future. Okay, so this is the wind and solar generation forecast with this model. Then of course, grid management of non-renewable. Grid management is very, very important nowadays to maintain the stability and reliability. Then of course, demand forecast, which is compatible with the generation as well as the demand by considering the stability of the grid management. So this is the general flow, access flow or process flow. But dear all, in this particular ANN application, how the optimize the energy storage operation and optimize the market design operation, this is very, very important. Today's challenging task. Anybody who pursue their research in the particular field, there is a wide scope for optimization of energy storage operation or optimize the market design and operation. Because storage problem nowadays still again research is going on. The capacity of storage is limited version. So that is why we must be present the theoretical manner about the presentation of the current scenario of particular, what you can say that, the optimization of storage system. So I'm just going to in short about this about structure. It is weather forecast means for that how the wind and solar to forecast the weather. So dear all, artificial intelligence application that will helps to improve the integration of renewable system into the power system. With the help of big data, it can produce the accurate power generation forecast that will make it feasible to integrate much more renewable energy into the particular grid. Another is to maintain the grid stability. I'm just telling about the grid stability. And decentralized market nowadays, the artificial intelligence technique, it can ensure that the power grid always operate at optimal load. Artificial intelligence technique is ability to the power always operate at optimal load. That is called grid management. It's very, very important. And also can optimize the energy consumption for the customer. That is a part of the grid management. Another is called as improve the demand forecast. And forecasting is the different kind of the patterns. And this is the so many research paper available, so many proposed research work is available for this demand forecast with the help of the expert system and NN and fuzzy system. It can predict the not only network but consumption of load also monitor. It could be monitored. So that is why with the help of this IoT and the artificial combination, with the help of the smart system, whether it is smart generation, smart distribution, smart transmission, smart utility, etc., etc., smart industrialization, smart agriculture, smart grids. So everywhere you used to word the smart. Okay, smart means not looking good. Smart means experts. Any damn thing, the ability, any damn thing, it can be do it. So dear all, the consumption habits and accurately draw a consumption pattern for each customer. Okay, so that is called as a demand forecast. So another is called as the optimization. I'm just telling you about the energy storage and the energy storage system, large scale batteries not available so far. Always the issue of the small batteries, which is particularly compatible with the what you can say that e-vehicle, electrical vehicles. So you need to have designed some sort of the grids so as to the grid management can be ability to deploy the power to the electrical vehicle networks system. Nowadays the research still is going on, the implementation still going on in India. Okay, so that is there. So I'm just moving faster. Up to 12 o'clock, I'll be just let it finish. So this is artificial intelligence in thermal power plant. In thermal power plant, the every nowadays the robotics intelligent based robot is available to do anything any damn task. Okay, so this is one of the example of the live scout robots. Okay, so any operation, any complicated operation where the human cannot be reach at the particular level, so human robots, intelligent human based robot can do any damn thing what they want. Another example is called as the yes, this is called as the EHVAC online maintenance of transmission line. Means suppose 400 kV online transmission line, it is not joke. Some sort of the some online maintenance is available, but in our India, most of the offline maintenance would be preferred because the utility of the grid. So online maintenance with the help of this robot is showing here the human brain is not supposed to reach at the particular transmission line. So online maintenance, it is again damn possible with the help of these line scout robots. I'm just going fast. These are the advantages. You just go through the advantages. I don't want to discuss in detail about the advantages. These are the literature is available, and you people might be going through this artificial advantages. These are the disadvantages. And the rightly said that my previous discussion, the disadvantage of artificial intelligence based method. Now, dear all, this is the another. I'm just going to discuss about the Internet things that is called as IoT. And I don't want to discuss in detail about the IoT because I don't have time, because 10 minutes is to be left to finish my lecture. So just go through this IoT. I'm just going through the simple platform. Things. IoT means Internet of Things. As far as the IEEE concerned, our definition, things to the Internet. The things to have the sensing or actuation and potential programmability, the capabilities. Means what that? To sense the right data, right time, to do the right things. Everywhere think. Think means what that? Right time, right things to data is to be captured. Right place, the data is to be transferred. Right time and right things is to be happened with the help of your algorithms. And outcomes is called as things comes into the results. So that is IoT. So dear all, this is the basically types. You can just go through these. Uniquely identify things, sensing and actuation anywhere, anytime. Then very important thing is called as the genesis of the Internet things. So I would like to brief about the genesis of the IoT in short. Okay, just a moment. So what is genesis? Basically, here all genesis means what that the particular GPS satellite communications, Wi-Fi. Then what you can say that the 5G nowadays, still the 5G techniques, 5G enable networks, smart intelligent sensors. Mind my wording, huh? Smart intelligent sensors, not digital sensor or any kind of the habit sensor. Smart sensors means for the smart work, for the smart doing the algorithms, you people need to have the smart sensors. Some kind of the the VLSI and embedded technology. You people need to have to design the chips. Okay, and these chips is the ability to perform any kind of the micro operation, nano operation is to be performed with the help of this particular chip. Okay, so to capture the data with the help of GPS, and this is called Genesis. Okay, now just go to these the drivers of the IoTs. I don't want to discuss too much right now. Just go through this blog. I'm just going to explain in short about the standardization process. The maturity of standardization and the software technology. In the particular, the the structure shown, communication is a very communication media, communication I/O input output ports always to be required, and that is there very important, right? Communication using 3G, 4G, 5G, secular networks, TCP/IP protocol, a large number of devices using the IPv6, IPv4, IPv8, IPv11, or any kind of some kind of standard protocols, firewalls. So these are called as complete communication involved technologies, advanced technologies nowadays. That is called as a standardized process. And of course, those are handling with the help of the artificial technology in the consumer space nowadays. Voice recognition based virtual assistant. Alexa, do this. Alexa, do this. This is called as a voice recognition with the help of ANN. Artificial neural network is capability to do any damn thing about the voice recognition. And you know very well, Alexa, Cortana, Google Assistant, and many more platforms available for this standardization of software technology in a particular domain. Okay, next slide. So dear all, this is the general structure. I don't want to discuss in detail because many experts have been already earlier discussed in the particular structure. But in short, I would like to just explain about the general structures. How does the particular work about the IoTs? The IoT technology is particularly closely linked with the ongoing technology, advancement and digitization, where a variety of different electronic products need to somehow connected in useful manner. There is a necessity for more efficient service and flexible process in general. And dear all, the IoT technology have allowed for a variety of efficient services and smart networking. Without smart networking, it is not possible of IoT system in the particular real-time application. So dear all, that is there. Another one is, I'm just going fast. IoT in industry. Where it is used, IoT in industry. Okay. So with the help of this, you just go through this Wi-Fi, Zigbee, 5G, LAN, Wi-Fi, etc. So these are called as a 3-layer structure. But this is not 3-layer structure. This is multi-layer structure somehow. Okay. So this is the middle layer is very important. No, middle layer is very important. And of course, sensor. Sensor is called as a data information technology. That is called as input variables, and sometimes it is called as the cloud computing technologies. Whatever the sensing platforms with the help of cloud and for this database somehow is to be required here. Not saying big B or big data B is not used, but cloud-based computing technology is quite possible for the IoT technology. Okay, and now this is another is called as, this is represented smart home management system. You people might be familiar nowadays. The smart city, the proposal and the operations is going on in India, which is with the help of IoT and with the help of these ANN. You can do anything else what you want. And another thing is smart grid. Previously, I already explained about the smart grid. The grid management and the battery storage management is very, very important. So once the two problems have been sorted out, definitely smart grid operation, it is quite possible in near future. And another is called as the smart home. Okay. So with the help of IoT and ANN, you can do anything else. So another one is called as DRL. This is called as the electrical vehicles. Electrical vehicles, having the some models, and every time the decision making, then expert system is implemented for designing, since from mechanical design to electrical control scheme. Okay, so any damn thing you can design, body design, energy sources, then electrical production, electrical propulsion, that is called as the power modulators, power transmission, power converters, electric motors, transmission wheels, etc. So these are some sort of the vehicles. So who can be applied the particular artificial based expert based system to do anything else what you want. So I don't want to discuss in detail about the types of the electric vehicles. Now this is the complex structure of e-vehicles for the charging system. Nowadays, the charging of battery, there is a problem in India because the 100 kilometers required the 4 hours chargings. Okay, so delay of charging, there is a big issue in India right now. So in future, with the help of IoT and AI techniques, it is quite possible to reduce the charging time, and also to reduce your traffic and congestion management. Okay, so these are the boom and the complex system or your future scope and future study. So that is there. These are the cloud, and these are the smart networks, and these are your expert system. So club with this particular expert system to the cloud. Cloud will handle to all WNN networks for the e-vehicles, for charging, to traffic management, to battery management, to runway management, etc. Okay, so everything it could be managed. So at last and conclusion, dear all, with this the NN and fuzzy and IoT, the truth is truth. The truth is truth. We don't know what is going to happen. We don't know what is going to happen because technology is upgraded one. It was earlier. It was earlier only presented concept, but nowadays somehow 10%, 50%, 8%, 9%, 12% have been implemented this AI and smart techniques in the different platforms. For example, only 4% is implemented smart house in India. Only 4%. 8% are supposed to be in aggregate scheme. 12% are supposed to be in business model. 5% are supposed to be in electrification, power system. 1% are supposed to be in health and monitor, and 50% in business model like Google, share market, and all these things. So nowadays, what I'm telling you, we people, truth is truth. We people cannot predict what will be happening in future. Okay, still the research is going on, still the technology is upgrading on, and we are running. We are just moving towards the AI and ANN. Today's need. Let them forget about all the traditional platforms. You people try to understand, try to learn the various AI technique, and try to implement in your electrical engineering applications or your business application, etc. So with this, dear all, thank you so much. Thanks for kindly listening 2 hours my lectures. If you have any questions, so you can freely ask me any questions you have, any doubts you have. Yes. You have any doubts, any questions, any queries? You can ask me now, or you can ask me through my WhatsApp number. I'm just going to chat my WhatsApp number. You can just chat me on my WhatsApp number. Your queries, your doubts, if you need to have some guidance from me, so you can call me. You can chat me anytime. So this is my WhatsApp number. You can just note it down. Whenever you need in future, you just call me for this any kind of the artificial or neural network or any kind damn thing which is required for your application or your research work or your study purposes, whatever you want, you just chat me on this particular WhatsApp number. Okay, so thank you so much. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Once again, thank you for making an excellent presentation, sir. For
Thank
this
you.
FDP is very meaningful and interesting session, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Should I leave?
Leave, sir.
Okay. So thank you so much for giving me such a great opportunity to present myself, to explain myself in front of you people for today's event. And let it hoping so in future. We are also coming forward to with your new ideas, new thoughts, new topic coming in front of you people. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you, sir.